I run without music because I really like to think. I really like to dwell on the things that I've been doing. And, it's part of the creative process as well. I like to think about what I'm going to write next. And I like to sort all those ideas out in my head while I'm running. I also don't want to get run over because I'm running through city streets of Los Angeles.
A piece of the writing and a piece of the focus for you is the diversity aspect and the South Asian and Indian subcontinent in particular. Yeah. Why is that important to you? What is the reason that that's one of the hats you wear?
Well, my parents are both from Bangladesh. They were not and still are not active people. So this is a very strange thing for me to be doing. It might be the swing of the pendulum to the other extreme, let's say, but there are also not many Bangladeshi sporting superstars out there, let's say. A small handful from the subcontinent in the running world, but not many by a long shot. Quite a few cricketers can be named, of course, but not running. But they're out there, and there's potential out there, of course, because, Bangladesh is the 8th most populous country in the world. How can a country that size not give us one great runner? It seems unbelievable to say it like that, but it's the truth. There was, a sprinter at the Olympics this year. Let's just say he didn't do brilliantly, but he was there, which was great. Trying to shine a light on as many aspects of that as I can is it appeals to me. I don't know how much good it will do, but if it can inspire another generation to maybe think, yes, we can, then that's good enough for me.
How has the in-person running community, running club component factored into driving the conversation forward around the diversity and showing up for people who might not look like the person standing next to them?
It's difficult to say exactly. I'm sure there's probably someone better placed to give you facts and figures on this, but I know from a personal point of view that being able to see somebody else like me doing that thing is hugely important. We've come a long way over the past 20, 30 years, but there's still more distance to be covered. And so the more, the better. There's a running club in London called Sikhs in the City, for instance, and they are very active in their community, and they want to show the next generation that they exist, that they can exist within the running world. It can be for them as well. So there's important work being done.
What would you say to someone who, maybe we'll use this as a clip in the promotion of the video because most of the people who are listening to this probably already run, but what would you say to someone who is sitting there thinking, hey, I don't see people that look like me in this community, but I want to be a part of it? What do you say to that person?
Take the space yourself. You can be the change. If you're thinking about it, you are 10 steps ahead of someone who hasn't thought about it yet. And you can be the inspiration to that person who hasn't thought about it yet. If you inspire somebody, if they're in your neighborhood, then there's 2 of you, and then you'll grow from there.
I love that. It's that ripple effect, right? You just need you just need to break stasis. Who have been some role models for you in that regard?
I don't really look up to Olympic athletes because they're so far away from what I do. I look to a lot of women in the space, actually, because it's kind of seems crazy to me that in 2024, that conversation about women being the equal of men is still a conversation that needs to be had. The ferocity with which women are, determined to take their space and make sure that they have that space, that is inspiring to me, that I can do it for my own needs. I guess that's the idea of intersectionality and whatnot, but that's kind of where I look to for inspiration for what I'm doing.
There are a couple of campaigns that I've seen that, as you're saying this, I'm thinking of Corinne Malcolm and a handful of others with the Here for the Women's Race that we've seen in the trail community, elevated by a lot of the top female and male trail runners and people like Billy Yang, et cetera. And then what Wazelle did around the Olympic trials of 2024, where they enabled 5 athletes to have monetary support and programmatic support and body work and these types of things, where they were being invested behind in ways that they had never been before. And the goal was, what could you do and who could you inspire if you had, some more resources? And so I love to think of this ripple effect and the ability to change one person and change an entire world, kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
And it was really cool to see what could happen, or what did happen, when one person bet on themselves, or a brand bet on one person, and then that person told their story, and then a bunch of people were like, hey, I should bet on myself too. And I think that's the value of such a thing.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, if we go back to run clubs, for instance, some of the most influential, long-standing run clubs have spawned other run clubs. They've inspired their community members to do their own thing. And so even at that community level, it's so important for that, that inspirational figure to have the agency to really inspire others. When you take it up to, the top level, the corporate level, it's, there's even more good stuff that can be done.